Welcome to another live stream appointment of today's Communicators. I'm your host, Kris Reichert, and we're going live right now. We're multi-streaming to YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, and also to LinkedIn. So I'd like to welcome anybody that's joining the live stream. You know, I really love this live stream appointment because it gives me the opportunity to highlight how my guests have made a positive impact on the world and on the people surrounding them. And today, I'm really excited to introduce my guest in the broadcast studios with me. She is a dear friend from high school. I believe we haven't seen each other face-to-face in about 30 years. Her list of successes and achievements is very long. You know, since we last saw each other, she has gone on to get her degree in law, become a lawyer, and then open up her own law firm. She's also a little bit of a performer, but we'll get into that later. Let me please welcome Erin McNamara. Hi, Erin, how are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you, Kris. Thank you so much for having me on. It's a real pleasure to be on your podcast. Thank you so much.
It's so funny how you call it a podcast.
Or whatever. No. Video
That's great, Erin. It is so fabulous to have you here. You know, it feels like not a day has passed, and it's so wonderful how we can just we got onto the live stream about 5 minutes early just to get the last tech setups happening. And, you know, it was just like, you know, we have not been away from one another. I live over here in Italy. We literally have not seen each other in 30 years. Am I right?
You're right.
Yep. Yeah. And since then you've become a lawyer, you have your own law firm. Now tell me a little bit, you know, kind of in a nutshell, what were some of the highlights and challenges during this journey into becoming a lawyer with your own law firm?
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, there's many. So I guess I can start with even just getting into law school. I had an HR career before that, and it was one of those things that had always kind of tapped me on the shoulder every few years going, hey, you should go to law school. Law school sounded cool, right?
Right.
And I also thought a legal career would be really interesting and you know, with new challenges and things that you can sort of not know everything about, and it would just be like continuous learning. So I finally decided to take the plunge and apply, and I ended up going to law school. So I quit my career. And it's funny because sometimes people say to me, well, did people say you're crazy? You know, you're going sort of mid-career to a different career. But to be honest, people around me just like supported me so much. My family was really super supportive. And even the people that I worked with at the time were like, they had a party for me. They were just so like, good luck. And everybody was really great about it. So that was an interesting transition because I went from, you know, living an adult life to back to student mode and no income and lots of reading and lots of work. But I knew that I had sort of set my sights on what I wanted, and it was just, you know, getting through that process. And you know, I love school, so that it was an enjoyable process. And then when I became a lawyer, it's just been such a great, wonderful experience that I'm really, really happy that I chose that path. So yeah.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, we do get that niggling, you know, it's kind of like we know the area that we should be, you know, that we're drawn there. We've got this kind of this magnet that pulls us in different areas. And when you're courageous enough and bold enough to make that move and take this step in the direction where you really feel that niggling that you have to go towards, you know, so congratulations. That's fantastic. And I remember there was this big milestone moment when you posted something and I saw the post. I think it was when you opened up your own law firm. Was that the case?
Yeah. That's great. Actually, fun fact, today is actually the 5th anniversary. 5 years ago today, I opened up my law firm, McNamara Law.
This is so cool. Really? That's amazing.
Yeah, it really is.
Thank
you. Thank you. Yeah, it was interesting because I was working as a lawyer for a company, and you know, I liked what I did, but I always had that desire to work for myself even before I went to school. So I just felt it was time for a variety of reasons. And I guess the biggest challenge to start that was picking a start date, to be honest, because I had, you know, the comforts of a job and like a regular paycheck and benefits and all these things. And just completely, you know, doing a 180 and starting my own thing was, it was a bit of a leap of faith, but to be honest, I just knew that was my path. So I just thought, well, I'm not going to fail. Like, it's going to work. So just pick a date. And once I picked that date and I gave my notice, the wheels were in motion. So I couldn't unwind it. And it was like the best thing I've done. I mean, it's been really, really great. You know, I love what I do. And I think when you ask about the challenge, the biggest challenge that I think came to mind for me early on, and just that I can impart hopefully to other people, is if you're going into business for yourself, you have to have a comfort with uncertainty, like, because you're not getting the salary necessarily. You're not getting like the regular, paycheck. Someone else isn't sort of in control of that. It's you. On the flip side, the harder you work or the more success you have, you get to enjoy it, of course, and it's all as a result of your work. But again, you don't have that guarantee, right? So if you're not comfortable with that uncertainty, it can be a really stressful, I think, experience for someone.
Yeah, but it's also the most rewarding when you do take that leap of faith. Yeah, absolutely. And you do get those successes along the way. It is the most gratifying, most definitely. I mean, I know something similar because last year I launched my first coaching program. So now I'm a video communications coach, and that all came to be during some very, very in-depth reflective moments, during lockdown, really asking myself what direction I needed to go and what I really wanted to do. And since I've been doing what I'm doing now, I've never felt more gratification in anything along the way. But of course, the challenges are just that. There's uncertainty. I don't have a paycheck coming in. I don't have a boss that says, you do this, I'll pay you for it. No, it's like I generate whatever's going on in my in my bank account. Yeah. So
exactly. Yeah. And I think that, it's important to remember that you do have the power to do that.
Yeah.
If you look for opportunities and you assume the best is yet to come, which I've just always had that view that, change and the unknown is exciting and it means good stuff's coming my way, then, I feel like that you can attract that. I feel like if you expect the best, you're going to get the best in people, in your opportunities. And really, I've just been so blessed with, things coming my way and connections with people and helping people and just, it's been really great.
What insight, Erin. I'm so excited because you're totally talking my language here, because I truly believe that when you get into the flow, when you are doing what you're supposed to be doing, where if you allow yourself to understand where that pull is and you follow, your dreams, to say something in a very banal kind of way. But when you do that, then you get into this flow and doors just seem to open. It seems to be easier when you're right on track.
Yeah. And I feel exactly. And you can probably attest to this, especially in the performance arena. When you're in the moment, when you're on stage, for example, or, you're singing or, for me, if I'm one-on-one with a client or there's a moment that's like really it comes together at work or I'm acting or whatever. In all of those moments when you're doing something that you love and that you're supposed to be doing, there's sort of like a thrill that runs through you. Like, do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
In that moment when you're just like everything hits properly. Your note is perfect. The music's perfect. The client's understanding, like there's a connection. When that happens and like, that you're doing what you need to be doing. And I get that all the time. And it's just like a really, I don't get it every day, but I get it really often where I'm going, yes, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. Cause that feeling is really, it's like a confirmation that I'm on the right, path,
I call it the life high. And in fact, it's just that moment where you're like, yes, I need to be right here, right now, what I'm doing in this moment. Yeah. And I've had it a few times on stage, in fact, performing with my band. Singer-songwriter, I had this rock band and we would do a bunch of concerts.
Just a little rock band.
Yeah, this is the thing on the side, my side hustle. But I did have a few of those life high moments. And in fact, they're crystal clear, right? Mm-hmm. Crystal clear. Although that was never my core business, it didn't really take me far. But I did have those moments. And I suppose that's when our creative sides, our creative selves that is so necessary, in life, when they emerge and when you feel that lock into place. Yeah. And what about when COVID hit? How did that affect your business right now? How did that affect you?
Well, I've always been I've always offered mobile services and, sort of not like I've done the traditional meetings face-to-face with clients, but I expanded my services to include virtual services. So, and also the Law Society where that governs my license in Ontario, they have allowed us to do certain services virtually, which wasn't permitted before. So they've actually changed the law to allow that for COVID. And so I've actually been able to reach more clients because, they don't need to be in my immediate circle around me, geography wise. So I can sort of spread that. But I think what I noticed the most is initially there was a panic from people. calling me up saying, I need to get my will. I'm seeing all this bad news on the TV and on the news, and so that really I noticed that, and then since then, really, it's sort of been just really busy, and that's I'm always grateful for that. So that's always a good thing, but. My job in that is what I consider to be sort of almost like a voice in the storm to go, okay, we're going to get your paperwork done. We're going to get your will done. We're going to get, whatever you need done. And then you can focus on other things, because people get stuck on that. And they're like, oh my gosh, I don't have a will. And I'm 21, and you still need one anytime you're over 18. But I take that opportunity to hopefully kind of calm them, and my process is very quick and easy for the clients too. So I try to make the experience a positive one, so we're not focusing on the bad news.
Erin, what's amazing is your HR background really probably came forth during these difficult times, and I bet you found yourself kind of in a way counseling people, when they were in that panic mode.
Yeah, I've had calls from clients saying that family members have COVID. What do they do? And it doesn't have anything to do with what I really do, but they just I've helped them before, so they've called me. And
wow,
yeah, it's really amazing.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I've had clients pass on, not necessarily from COVID, but it happens in my area of law, unfortunately, because I'm dealing with wills and probate applications and post sort of death estate help. And so, that does come up sometimes, and that's been a challenge, but it's one of those things where I take the responsibility of being their lawyer and helping them through that. And I try to separate my person from the lawyer side when those things come up, so that I can, not get too emotional and sort of be there that they need, because I really have to stay sort of removed so that I can help them.
I've often wondered, and in fact, one of my last live stream appointments was with an investigative journalist. He's a news reporter, and I asked him how he dealt with things when he has to report the really, really bad news. Because, in fact, we have to kind of put up that barrier so that we don't get too emotionally affected. And I'm sure you have to do the same, because it can be traumatizing even for you that it has known people, and worked with them, and then all of a sudden they're not there anymore. So yeah, I can imagine that must be difficult. But moving on to happier things, Erin, I just wanted to say on this live stream that everything I've ever posted in the past and, maybe made public as far as my wins in my career and in my life, you have always been there. We have not seen each other. We have not been really in touch, on a personal level, but you've always been there and been supportive. You've congratulated me on my wins. You have given me encouragement, and you've just really been an amazing source of support. And I just wanted to really shine the light on female empowerment and how much we need that these days, because the support I've felt from you has really, and I can't even begin to put it into words, helped me so much. Because being over here in Italy, I have to say that I feel out of touch with my roots, with my origin, with my family, with everything that's happened from my friends of the past. And knowing that you were there to support me along the way has been so encouraging for me. And I just wanted to thank you for that so much, and say it's not a lot of women would have done the same, or have I felt that from any other women, really, apart from my dear friends that I've known all these years, face to face.
Yeah.
Because I do feel that you require a certain level of self-confidence and value in yourself to be able to be supportive to another woman. Now, would you agree with that concept? Do you feel that,
yes,
that you have to serve yourself in order to pay that forward in a way?
Yes. And I just want to acknowledge what you just said. I mean, thank you so much. I feel honored to be your friend and to be able to support you. And I'm serious, and I'm so proud of you. So I'm just going to put that out there too, for many reasons. So, but when it comes to other women, I've always connected with other women, and so have you. So I've known you enough to say that that's true. But I just feel like supporting other women, it empowers all of us,
Yes.
When a friend needs help, or if I need help, or just if someone has a success, let's celebrate that success. I've always believed that I don't want to be stingy with my comments and with my compliments. Some people are, they're like, oh, I've said you've done well, and that's my compliment for the year. It's like, no,
What?
So some people just hold back on that. And I just don't believe in that. I'm like, look, if someone did a great job, tell them. If someone looks fantastic, tell them, man or woman, but I feel like, when it comes to other women, I think there is maybe a perception of like scarcity out there where people think, well, if I compliment another woman, it's going to highlight that I don't have that, or it's going to make me feel like I need to be better or something, or it's going to be a competition somehow. But I just feel like there's room for all of us. We all have our unique things about us. And quite frankly, those connections and those relationships make me feel good too. Like when I'm supporting you, that makes me happy. I want to see you succeed, and we're connected. So when you succeed, I feel good too. And, it doesn't affect how I feel about myself, or in a bad way. It doesn't diminish anything I'm doing. In fact, I feel like when I support someone else, they're going to support me too. So.
Do you know what, Erin? I agree 100% with everything you're saying. And it sounds like, like the words that would come out of my mouth are coming out of your mouth right now. So I really understand why we have maintained this connection. While I've always felt a pull towards you, there's been this really amazing connection during all these years, because we have had these successes and they have been kind of parallel. And anytime I've read about anything you're doing, in fact, I've felt the same feelings of pride from over here. Like, look at her go. Do this. Yes, that's amazing. And so it's wonderful to feel that from another woman. So let's congratulate that. And let's just try and, at least in this live stream, give a message out there to women and men. We don't have to limit any of the compliments or any of the support that we can give to another human being, because essentially what that's doing is that's empowering. That's making us feel better too, because we know that we've helped. In some way, shape, or form, we have helped in encouraging another person in their journey. And that's what it all boils down to, I believe. Yeah. Now, I can tell that you're a master communicator, because you have such a beautiful way of communicating, so natural. And I've seen so many posts with you and your hubby. So I can imagine that within your relationship, you do have a very good level of communicating, right? Within
Absolutely.
your relationship.
I got to give a shout out to, his name's Pete Dillon. And he's really, what an incredible person. Honestly, that celebrate your success. He says that all the time. He lives by that. And any little success I have, he's there to celebrate and high five. And it's just been wonderful, but we have the same philosophy. We are not stingy with our compliments to each other and to other people. Whenever any of his community has success, he's right there cheering them on. Like, we're the same that way. And I think that's why it works. We're in sync, and we're just well matched in many, many areas. And we say that often. We're like, we're really lucky we found each other, because, there's a big world out there, and there's lots going on, but we really connect. And I feel very fortunate. And to be honest, from day one of my practice, he has been my biggest cheerleader as well. Like, he's just been like, you're amazing. And, just really, really supportive. I've always felt, even though I took that first leap on my own, I really wasn't, first of all, I felt the support of lots of people, but like, as my partner, he was right there, and it was so wonderful to come home at the end of the day going, okay, I got through my first day, and talk about it. And someone who's really interested and wants to hear about it and has all that energy. So it's been really great.
That's fantastic. And you also do these murder mysteries together, don't you? Now tell me about that, because I saw these videos and I was like, this is so cool, because you're an actress, a performer, and you're doing it alongside with your partner. So that's fantastic.
Yeah, so he actually owns Murder Mystery Ottawa, Big Time Murder Productions, Murder Mystery Toronto, and Zoom Mystery. All these different companies. That the master company is Big Time Murder Productions, and he produces these live shows. I mean, pre-COVID, we were doing shows weekly, sold out shows with great reviews, and he had them in different cities. And since COVID hit, he's actually transitioned to online to Zoom Mystery, and it's been great, like really, really great feedback, and just on a different platform. But I always say, like, I miss those live shows, because there's such an outlet I get. I get to sing, I get to act, I get to play for, the time of the show. And again, it's being in the moment 100%. So say, you can relate to this being on stage. When you're acting or you're singing, like you're there, you can't be like, I wonder what I should get for my grocery list. You just can't. You've got to be in the moment, and it's live interactive. So it's really a cool type of a show because audience members can ask you questions. You're mingling with them. They can ask you anything, and you have to be ready and you have to be in character. And
so, but like, how does it work? So you play a different role each time, and do you know who the actual, like the murder mystery is? Usually there's the murderer mixed within the actors. That do you know yourselves who it's going to be, or does it come forth? Like, I mean, how does it work?
Yeah, so it's a preset show. So basically, there's a script, but we all add stuff to it, and we try to make each other laugh, and depending on the audience, we'll throw different things in, and it's interactive, so we involve the audience. So certain things are new each time, but the basic idea, the basic evidence, and all that is the same, because it would just it would be too open-ended, and we may not actually have a mystery at the end of it if it was changed. So we have like who did it, the motive, and all that stuff. And so we play like different characters. I have my favorites that I love playing. And we perform that, and then so the show is the same as far as the basic like storyline, but again, with different actors playing the roles on different times or different performances, and the audience being different, it can always just vary a little bit.
And so there's a high level of improvising involved, because the audience, like if something comes up, you kind of adapt the script and you can answer questions, and that's so cool. So you really embody that character when you're performing. And if they ask you questions about your character, you have to kind of like put yourself into the, okay, wow.
Yeah, and they're relentless. Like they'll ask you, and they have fun with it and stuff. And the wonderful thing is there's no actual like stage where in a traditional setting where you're doing performing, you're doing a stage play. There's a stage and there's lights, and you don't really see the audience. There's like a protection barrier there. In this environment, you're there, like they're 2 feet away from you talking to you, and everybody's watching you, and you have a microphone. So it's like you're on, So it's a really different way of doing things, but I think it's just great. And to me, I always call it my therapy. So I'm missing my therapy because it's I do it after the show. I'm like on a high, and I've had a bad day, like it's gone. It's just it's long gone. So it's been great. So I miss it.
Yeah. The performing arts. It's a need. Once you get accustomed to having that thrill, that adrenaline rush, then it becomes a need. And if you don't get that outlet, at times you can feel this real deficiency for that. Yeah.
Well, the funny thing is, I don't know what you've been doing, because you're a performer also, so you need that outlet. Obviously, you're doing this, but I'm sure you're dying to belt out something. So we actually have, because Pete owns the company, we have like a bunch of sound equipment and everything. So we actually have a karaoke station that he created in our house. Probably for my benefit, if I'm being honest. And every once in a while I bust it out, and it's really funny. Yeah. I'm sure the neighbors are like, what is that? But you do what you can.
I should train with a karaoke machine, because I suck at karaoke. I'm the worst, because I'm accustomed to playing guitar. So I just crack out my acoustic guitar, and I get my fill. I get all my outlets. Now that I don't perform as a singer-songwriter anymore, but I have all my songs. So I just have to grab my guitar and I play them. And then whenever I come home to Canada, I've got my father and my brother that are incredible artists, like musicians as well. So the three of us, we're playing all of these amazing songs around the campfire. And then we've got my dad on the harmonica and my brother on the 12-string guitar, and then me on a 6-string. Yeah. And so I get my outlets. Oh, it's great. Yeah. But that's amazing. Oh, Erin, this has been so fantastic talking with you. We've made an agreement that from now on, we're going to do this often. We're going to, get together, whether it's on Zoom or whatever, and keep in touch. And I'm so glad that this is going to spark that continuation, the continuancy of us.
Can I just interject really quickly and say, please give my best to Jay and to your mom, Carol.
Oh my goodness, I will.
I've had so many great times, and your mom's got like a great laugh like you, and just please give her my best. She's always been wonderful. Yeah.
Speaking of laughs, we talked about that you have one of those laughs that if I in all of these years just thought of you, I would think of your laugh and I could remember it perfectly.
Same here.
You've always had one of those laughs that's just like the best laugh ever. Do you remember? Do you remember when we would do that? No, that's going to have to be for a private call. We were so conniving. In high school, we would do these horrible things. They were little conniving jokes.
They were fun things, but like we had so many, even with our group, we were lucky. Like we had such a great group of friends, and just doing like a sudden spontaneous fall in the hallway. That was a thing for a while. And
that was the thing. And then we had to bring like a sheet of papers with us so that when we did that fall, we had to really act it out as if it really did happen. We had to throw all the papers up in the air. So the whole hallway full of students was just like this, turned into this big epic moment. And we always had to pretend that we got hurt. Like, so we couldn't act as if it was a put on, like we had actually done it intentionally.
It's because, I don't know if you have the same thing, but like sometimes people say, oh, how was high school? And, a lot of people hated their high school experience, but high school for me was amazing. Like I had the best time. And that's because of you and all of our friends and all those fun moments. Like talk about celebrating women. I mean, we celebrated each other big time in high school before it was a thing, we were all so great. And I had a great experience, and I'm sure that was a big part of that was because of the friendships. And look at 30 years later, how that's turned out, right?
Yeah, for real. I too, great experience in high school. And the cool thing is that we were really balanced because we had a great group of friends. We were really socially active. We did all kinds of stuff. And I organized the fashion show and great things. But not only that, we were really good in school too. We were really good students. So we weren't those kids that really slack in education, but yet, made up for it with the social activities. No, we were across the board. We were really good. And we've done well for these years. Yeah. Erin, thank you so much for being a part of this with me. I know you've got a busy day ahead of you because in Canada, it's just first thing in the morning. For me in Italy, it was 3 p.m. when we started the live stream. So you've got to get on with your day with your law firm. So again, thank you. This has been wonderful. And let's do this again soon.
Thank you so much, Kristen. It's been wonderful. I guess you're Kris now, but I really appreciate this. And it's been amazing connecting with you. So thank you.
Yeah, right on. Okay, we'll talk to you really soon, Erin. Take care, everybody, and we will see you in 2 weeks' time for another appointment of today's Communicators, another live stream. All right, bye for now. Bye, everybody.
Bye.